bonsoir everyone, welcome to Chacha Paranormal. Today we are going to talk about orbs. What the hell is it? Let me give you a scoop. I have absolutely no idea. But I came across 2 French testimonies last year, which I found intriguing, but I have no idea what these things could be, nor in which category they might belong. At first glance, one might think of a purely ufological phenomenon, but the testimonies I will share with you tonight seem far too complex to be reduced to a single field. Anyway, you get the idea. I have no clue what we are talking about. I don't know where I'm going with this, but let's be brave and go for it anyway. The first testimony comes from a web TV channel specialized in the unexplained, broadcast during a live call-in show where witnesses share their experiences with the unknown. You'll find all the link in the description. A woman named Nicole tells a very strange story there. It is the 5th of July 1985 on a small countryside departmental road connecting Cognac to Angoulême. It's around 12:50 a.m. Nicole, her husband, and their 8-year-old child are driving home after some family festivities. Nicole is driving slowly, cautiously. Her son is already asleep in the back, but strangely, halfway through, as the car follows a long, straight stretch of road, something is wrong. The engine begins to falter. The car loses speed for no reason, and the vehicle breaks down completely in the middle of the road. Yet, the headlights stay on. The couple gets out and opens the hood with a flashlight. Nicole lights the engine so her husband can search for the source of the problem. All of a sudden, in the beam of the headlights, Nicole notices a shape crossing the road. It looks like a fox, judging by its reddish fur, but the creature has the build of a medium-sized dog. Let's go with dog then. A dog that seems in a hurry. Except it's not an ordinary dog. While crossing the road, the creature turns its head to look at them, and Nicole's blood turns to ice. The creature has a human face, literally. It looks like a gargoyle on the facade of a cathedral. Nicole is terrified.
And I get it.
I love dogs more than anything, but that's... Nope, I have boundaries. Her husband hasn't seen a thing, busy with the engine. He closes the hood without having found the cause of the breakdown. The couple gets back into the car, wishing for the best. The vehicle starts up again as if nothing had happened, which is extremely strange. Why did it break down in the first place? They drive off again. Nicole doesn't say a word to her husband about what she's just saw. She's too frightened by the creature she glimpsed and prefers to not bring it up, to chase the image from her mind. Nicole chats about everything with her husband. They drive over a wooded hill. As they begin the descent, in the distance, they see lights that they first mistake for the reflective lights of 2 bicycles riding ahead. Nicole has the strange impression that there is some kind of distortion in the distance between her vehicle and the lights ahead. She gets closer and closer to what she still thinks are bicycles, but they are not bicycles. There are 2 spheres floating in the night, 2 identical spheres, like 2 very large soap bubbles, about 30 centimeters in diameter. Though they emit no surrounding lights, these globes are intensely illuminated from within, with white, blue and golden tones. The phenomenon is breathtakingly beautiful. The 2 spheres have crossed the road and positioned themselves at the level of the car's hood. To this day, Nicole is unable to remember whether she stopped the car or whether she continued driving very slowly to observe these incredible things, because on top of the previously felt distortion of distance, there is now a sensation of time distortion. It seems to her that the encounter with these orbs lasted a very long time. But if she kept driving, it could not have lasted indefinitely. The spheres hovered in place in front of the car at windshield level. Nicole turns to her husband to ask if he really sees what she sees, if she isn't hallucinating. After having seen the creature on the road, her husband looks stunned, frightened. He asks, "What in the world is that?" Yet Nicole is not afraid, because unlike the bizarre dog, she feels that these globes of light mean them no harm, because even she has no idea why they might be. She has the intense conviction that these unknown objects possess intelligence. These bubbles seem alive, as if they were observing them, scrutinizing them, even scanning them. Then suddenly, an intense wave of heat rises inside the car, as if the interior were filling with warm air from below, like a bathtub. The heat overwhelmed them. They seemed submerged in warm air. According to Nicole, the heat was not unpleasant. Meanwhile, the bubbles continued to levitate, with synchronized floating movements. Then suddenly they move and head toward a field on the right, one following the other. Nicole wants to follow them, but her husband disagrees. Nicole nevertheless gets out of the car and runs into the field, to watch them disappear toward the grove. Then she loses sight of them. As I said, Nicole doesn't know how much time passed during the observation. She estimates it lasted 5 or 6 minutes. Even 35 years later, Nicole says she has never seen anything so beautiful or so intense. However, she has tried to erase from her memory the strange cryptid seen earlier. It still frightens her today when she thinks about it. She dislikes talking about that creature because she did not like what she saw. She prefers to remember the majestic sights of the two orbs. The second French testimony was published on my all-time favorite French web TV about mystery and unexplained, Nuréa TV, right after the wave of orb and UFO sighting in New Jersey at the end of 2024. This channel was founded by a woman named Nora, assisted by her husband Guillaume, knowing that Nora herself had seen an orb slowly pass in front of her bedroom window in the middle of the night when she was 11 years old. Her little sister, 7 years old, had also seen this white luminous sphere cross the sky. To this day, her sister believes it was an angel. For Nora, it is probably something extraterrestrial. And this unforgettable experience is one of the things that later led her to create Nuréa TV 10 years ago. In a video from January 2025, whose link you'll find in the description, Nora talks with a famous French psychic whom I greatly admire, Geneviève Delpech. Geneviève Delpech is a painter who has clairvoyance abilities that have, among other things, led her to work with the police. She has also written numerous books on the subject, but Geneviève Delpech is also the widow of Michel Delpech, who is to me the most iconic French singer. I may be French, but I'm not at all a fan of French music. Really not at all. But Michel Delpech was on another level, and he is the one and only in my heart. That being said, let's move on to his wife's testimony. Here is what she tells Nora in this video. We are in Paris, a few days before Christmas 2024. It is around 6:30 p.m. and it is already pitch black outside at that hour. Geneviève goes out to walk her little dog, a regular dog, I should specify, not the bizarre dog from the previous testimony.
Oh my god, no.
Geneviève lives in a very quiet residential neighborhood where there is very little traffic in the evening. While crossing the deserted boulevard, Geneviève notices on the wall of a building a plaque she had never noticed before. Curious, she gets closer to read the inscription. Suddenly, she feels a presence behind her, as if someone were breathing down her neck. Convinced someone is behind her, she turns around. But it is not a person. Less than 1 meter away from her, a white sphere floats at the level of her face. The thing is just slightly bigger than a balloon, very bright without being blinding. An avalanche of colors spins inside the sphere. The light vibrates from within. This indescribable thing seems immaterial. Like a vibration, waves, it seems alive, and it seems to want to communicate with her. As in Nicole's testimony, Geneviève feels scanned by this thing. Yet Geneviève has the intuition that this orb already knew everything about her, and radiating from it was, in her words, an energy of love. Geneviève is mesmerized by this thing. At that moment, there is a kind of out-of-time effect. There is no sound anymore. Total silence. Then very slowly the sphere moves to the left and melts into the wall where it disappears. All of it lasted less than 1 minute. Geneviève returns to reality when the bubble enters the wall. She felt as if she had been in another space-time, because time stopped at that moment. She does not even know if her dog reacted or not, because he had a long leash and was living his own life. She did not feel afraid for even a second. On the contrary, she was amazed by this thing. Her theory is that it is an entity coming from a parallel dimension. What she seems certain of is that the sphere was alive and conscious. She felt as if she were meeting someone she knew, though she had never seen them before. A very strange feeling. She later thought of her late husband, or her guardian angel, or perhaps even God himself, but she has no answer. I have none either. I'm not going to be able to help you. Of all the topics I cover here, the orb phenomenon is the one I understand the least. The only thing I can say is that I find this subject very poetic. I'm curious to know what you think. Tell me in the comments. In the meantime, take care and I'll be back soon. Bye.